right now, at this exact terrifying moment in time.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
A yacht crew member is having a full, like, hyperventilating breakdown.
Totally.
Right, in a microscopic pantry that just smells faintly of bleach and despair.
And cheap tequila.
Yes. A charter guest is loudly demanding something completely ridiculous, like, I don't know, a unicorn milk latte at 3 in the morning.
Or asking for the ocean to be slightly less salty.
Exactly. And a boat romance is brewing that is absolutely about to become everyone's horrific, inescapable problem.
It is the beautiful, toxic circle of yachting life, babes. Nature is healing, the anchor is dropping, and the delusion is at an all-time high.
Babes, welcome back. We are so beyond thrilled you are here in our little corner of the internet. And babes, before we do absolutely anything else, can we just say Happy Pride?
Yes. Happy Pride Month to the entire Snark Squad. Sending massive love, endless glitter, and absolute solidarity to all the queens, kings, and every single fabulous babe listening to us on this glorious Wednesday, June 24th, 2026.
We see you, we adore you, and we celebrate you today and every single day.
We absolutely do.
And to celebrate all things fabulous and, well, slightly chaotic, the red sangria is officially on deck today. Because honestly, why not? We survived the week. We deserve it.
We really do deserve a treat, though I have to tell you, I've been staring at this picture and going down a complete psychological rabbit hole about the concept of red sangria.
Wait, really? Why?
We need to have a very serious, deeply necessary conversation right now. Is red sangria the ultimate carefree scream of summer? Or does it secretly scream, I am having a massive midlife crisis and I need to hide my existential dread under roughly chopped citrus fruit?
Oh my gosh, how dare you. Do not attack my chopped fruit.
I'm just asking the hard questions here.
I have already made like 4 batches this summer. It completely screams summer. It screams, I am on a patio, the sun is shining, I have a cute little sun hat on, and I am thriving.
Bestie, I am not attacking the fruit. I am dissecting the semiotics of the beverage.
The semiotics? Oh, we're using big words today.
Sangria is fascinating because it somehow manages to feel incredibly classy and completely unhinged at the exact same time. Like, think about it.
I'm thinking.
You're holding a beautiful stemmed wine glass, which visually communicates to the world, hey, I have my life together. I pay my taxes. I know what a mortgage rate is.
Right.
But inside that glass, you are essentially drinking adult jungle juice and eating brandy-soaked apples at 2 in the afternoon.
I mean...
Which screams, I have a minor inconvenience away from texting my toxic ex. It is the mullet of cocktails. Business on the outside, absolute party foul on the inside.
You are so incredibly out of line right now, but you are also terrifyingly accurate. Like, I am literally drinking a midlife crisis out of a glass pitcher right now.
See.
But you know what? I'm embracing it. The brandy-soaked apples are a lifestyle choice.
As you should. Lean into the chaos.
Yeah.
And speaking of leaning into our chaotic summer desires, avid snarkers already know we love a good slush.
Oh, we do.
A frozen beverage is essentially our shared love language.
Yeah.
And babes, I have a confession.
Oh, no. What did you do?
I was scrolling social media last night, completely minding my own business in the dark, and the algorithm hunted me down.
It always does.
It presented me with the most ridiculous, hyper-specific invention imaginable. A squeeze and freeze slush cup.
I am still screaming about the text you sent me at midnight about this. Out of the billions of people on that app, how did the algorithm know to target you specifically with a slushy cup?
That is the terrifying brilliance of surveillance capitalism. It looked at my digital footprint, analyzed my late-night purchasing habits, saw my deep, regressive need for instant, frozen gratification, and said, yep, we've got the perfect target.
I mean, they weren't wrong.
And honestly, it is absolute engineering genius. You put this silicone cup in the freezer, you take it out, pour in literally any liquid, you violently squeeze the sides with your bare hands, and bam, instant slush.
Thermodynamic magic.
I didn't even blink. I ordered it immediately. It arrives in exactly 2 days.
You are doubly unwell. You are making a silicone squeeze and freeze cup your entire personality. You sent me an itemized list of what you plan to freeze.
I have a vision, babes, a grand culinary experiment.
Yeah.
I'm going to freeze absolutely everything in my kitchen.
Oh, God.
Cold brew coffee, slush, pomegranate juice, slush, that midlife crisis sangria you're fiercely defending, instant slush.
Wait, sangria slush actually sounds kind of amazing.
Right. I am going to slushy my green juice. The consumer's possibilities are endless.
I am sitting here mocking you relentlessly, but I also have a secret, deep-seated, desperate, emotional desire for one. Like, I want a slush cup so badly.
You knew it.
But but I have resisted because lately, with all our summer adventures, the endless work meetings, my whole moving prep nightmare, and our little weekend getaways, I have barely been spiraling on TikTok. I haven't been buying random things from targeted ads. I am free.
Oh, here we go with the delusion.
No, listen to me. I am healing. I am becoming a reformed TikTok addict. I am experiencing genuine, palpable personal growth. I am stepping away from the doom scroll and touching grass.
Babes, I love you, but I am going to completely shut that false narrative down right now. You are not experiencing personal growth.
Yes, I am.
You literally watched me buy a squeeze and freeze cup from a targeted ad yesterday and immediately asked me to text you the link. You aren't healed.
Okay, that was a moment of weakness.
You were just temporarily too busy to be influenced. The second you unpack those moving boxes, it will only take just one perfectly curated aesthetic reel with a trending audio track to drag both of us right back into a 6-hour catatonic doom scroll.
Okay, fine. You're right. I'm weak. I'm a fraud. Send me the slush cup link again.
Already did.
But babes, speaking of people making highly questionable, delusional decisions, let's get into what we actually came here to talk about. Below Deck Med.
Oh my God.
Season 11, Episode 3. An episode appropriately titled Guestzilla On Board.
Snark Squad, I hope you have your life jackets securely fastened because we need to mentally prepare ourselves. The audacity levels on the good ship Akira 1 have reached a pitch that I didn't think was humanly possible.
Oh, it's so bad.
We are talking about the absolute collapse of the basic human social contract here.
I am already emotionally exhausted and completely outraged just thinking about it. Okay, let's unpack the arrival of this absolute nightmare charter guest.
Please.
So, walking up the dock, we have the return of co-primaries Johnny and Michelle Damon. Now, for anyone who isn't a Bravo historian, a primary is the person who actually pays the massive 6-figure check to rent the yacht, meaning they are the boss of the vacation.
Right. And for our non-sport following Snark Squad members, just a quick baseball history lesson for context.
Break it down.
Johnny Damon is a former Major League Baseball player who is absolutely infamous in the sports world for a massive, unforgivable betrayal. Like, he was a beloved star for the Boston Red Sox, and then he left them to go play for their mortal enemies, the New York Yankees.
The ultimate betrayal.
It was the ultimate sports villain era. People burned his jersey in the streets. So, fitting chaotic energy for him to bring onto a reality TV super yacht.
Honestly, Johnny's baseball betrayal in the early 2000s is absolutely nothing compared to the walking disaster they brought on board with them as a guest, their close friend, Josef.
Ugh.
Josef.
Bestie, the second this man's expensive loafers step onto the teak deck, my blood pressure spikes. The entitlement.
He immediately starts barking orders at Nathan, the bosun.
And for the uninitiated, the bosun is essentially the manager of the exterior deck crew. They drive the little boats, they manage the jet skis, and they are responsible for keeping everyone safe outside.
And Nathan is literally just politely trying to get the guests to step inside the salon so the crew can safely untie the boat and leave the dock.
Let's dissect Josef's profound delusion for a moment, because it is a masterclass in the toxicity of extreme wealth.
A total masterclass.
This man is 53 years old. He is walking around the yacht, visibly, sloppily intoxicated from whatever pre-boarding lunch they just had.
He could barely walk.
Exactly. And his very first move is to start bragging to absolutely anyone within earshot, including the crew, who are just trying to hand him a cold towel, that he's worth $500 million.
Like anyone cares. That he flies private everywhere? And he actually has the nerve to claim he's a pretty good-looking guy? The sheer, unadulterated audacity of this man is staggering.
I was screaming at my television, "Sir, you are on a Bravo reality show acting like a spoiled toddler who needs a nap.
Yeah.
You cannot buy manners."
He really can't.
And the immense, profound emotional relief I felt for his girlfriend, Addis. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about Addis.
We absolutely do. Addis is the unsung hero of the entire franchise.
She got into this massive, incredibly toxic fight at the restaurant before they even got on the boat.
Right.
She steps onto this multi-million-dollar luxury super yacht, looks at her screaming red flag of a boyfriend, looks at the Bravo camera crew, and immediately demands to leave.
Iconic.
She says, "I'm out. I'm not doing this." And Captain Sandy literally had to drop the massive anchor in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea just to let her escape on the tender.
Snark Squad, you have to understand the mechanical reality of what just happened there. Dropping anchor on a 150-foot super yacht is not like tossing a little piece of metal off the back of a fishing boat.
No, it's a huge deal.
It is a massive, loud, complex, and incredibly expensive logistical maneuver. You have to find the right depth, coordinate the entire deck team, and halt the entire itinerary. Otis forced a multi-million-dollar vessel to grind to an absolute halt because her boundaries were that firm.
She said, "Hold the boat. I'm leaving."
Otis is a modern feminist icon. She secured the bag, which was a free trip to a luxury yacht in Croatia, realized within 10 minutes that the emotional toll of dealing with a $500 million man-child wasn't worth the free champagne. And she fled. She chose peace over luxury.
I love her so much. I want Bravo to give her an entire spin-off show where she just walks away from toxic men in beautiful locations.
I would watch every episode.
But of course, Otis leaving just unleashes Josef completely. He doesn't have a babysitter anymore. Which brings us to the jet ski standoff. Bestie, my anxiety was through the roof. I was sweating.
It was a terrifying display of a guest believing that their bank account overrides the laws of physics. Let's set the scene. Josef, who is literally swaying back and forth on the swim platform, demands to drive the jet ski. Now, Joe Bradley, a deckhand, who we are going to have extensive words about later, does his job and asks the most basic, fundamental safety question in the maritime industry.
How many drinks have you had?
Exactly. Josef, while actively holding a half-empty cocktail glass in his hand, lies through his teak and says, 1 cocktail.
And then we hear the voice of an angel over the radio. Aesha.
Thank God for Aesha.
Aesha Scott, our beloved Chief Stew, is up in the interior. She has been watching this man marinate in hard liquor all afternoon like a cheap steak.
Married.
She gets on her little earpiece radio and just deadpans to the deck crew. It's more like 6.
A completely accurate assessment. Now, let's talk about the actual maritime law here because it's crucial.
Break it down for us.
If a crew member allows a visibly intoxicated guest to operate a high-speed watercraft like a jet ski and that guest crashes and dies, the crew doesn't just get a bad tip. The Captain Sandy can literally lose her captain's license.
Oh?
She can face massive international fines and potentially face criminal negligence charges. The yacht's insurance could be voided. It is a massive, massive deal.
So Nathan, the bosun, rightly steps in and tells Josef, absolutely not. You are a safety hazard. You cannot drive this machine. And Josef just loses whatever tiny shred of adult composure he had left.
Which wasn't much to begin with.
He starts throwing a full foot-stomping tantrum. He storms up to Aesha, whining like a child whose iPad just died, saying, "That's the 3rd time he's put me in my spot. Why is he focusing on me?"
Ugh, the victim complex.
And Snark Squad, I have never in my entire life been more obsessed with Aesha Scott than I was in this exact moment. Her de-escalation skills should be studied at Harvard Business School.
They really should.
She looks at this billionaire crybaby, doesn't break eye contact, and flawlessly claps back with a smile, because you're being the problem for him.
Doctor.
It was perfectly polite, it was delivered with customer service sweetness, and it was absolutely lethal.
It was a beautiful, masterful verbal takedown. In hospitality psychology, that's called redirecting the locus of responsibility.
Oh, there's a term for it.
Yep. Instead of arguing about the rules, she simply stated the cause and effect. Josef's behavior is the cause. Nathan's strictness is the effect. Aesha is out here basically running a high-stakes daycare for a 53-year-old toddler.
Literally.
But we have to talk about Nathan during this exchange. If you look closely at the screen while Josef is screaming in his face, well, wait, Nathan is literally rubbing his own clavicle bone. He is just aggressively stroking his collarbone.
I saw that. I thought he was just adjusting his radio harness.
No, babes, that is a classic physiological self-soothing mechanism. When humans are in a fight-or-flight state, stimulating the vagus nerve, which runs right near the collarbone, can help lower your heart rate.
Wait, really?
Yes. Nathan was physically holding himself back. He was stroking his clavicle, so his hands had something to do other than form a fist and punch a $500 million charter guest directly in the jaw.
Oh my gosh, that makes it so much more intense. He was one wrong syllable away from catching an international assault charge.
Exactly. The restraint that man showed was monumental.
But of course, Josef doesn't stop because the wealthy never hear the word no. We get to dinner. It's this bizarre, completely unhinged ancient Roman banquet theme.
All decor.
They have a literal, life-size sleeping tiger statue taking up half the dining table. It looks like a fever dream you'd have after taking NyQuil.
It really did.
And Josef, completely unprovoked, decides to target Chef Joy.
Chef Joy, who, let the record show, is arguably the most professional, focused, and talented person on this entire vessel.
Exactly. Joy is down in that hot, cramped galley kitchen sweating over a stove, and she comes up to serve them a stunning, multi-course, fine dining meal. And Josef, dripping with arrogance and disrespect, looks at her and tells her he rates her food a 9 out of 10 because, quote, nobody gets a 10.
I wanted to flip my coffee table.
Sir, excuse me. Who asked you to be a guest judge on Top Chef? You were eating someone else's food on someone else's dime.
So gross.
And Captain Sandy is sitting right there at the table, a guest at this dinner, and she literally has to break the fourth wall of hospitality to step in and tell him not to disrespect her chef.
Sandy's internal monologue in her confessional interview was incredible. You could pinpoint the exact microsecond she questioned every life choice that led her to captaining reality TV yachts.
She was reconsidering everything.
But babes, the true peak of Josef's villainy doesn't happen at dinner. It happens late at night.
The night watch.
The guests are supposed to be asleep. Josef wanders up to the bridge, which is the wheelhouse, the literal command center of the ship, where Nathan is quietly doing his mandatory night watch. And Josef plops his drunk self down right into Captain Sandy's chair.
I gasped. I physically gasped.
For anyone who doesn't know yachting protocol, sitting in the captain's chair without explicit permission is the ultimate sign of disrespect. It's like walking into a courtroom and sitting in the judge's seat. It's a massive breach of hierarchy.
It's so wildly out of line.
So he sits in her chair. He calls Nathan a prick to his face. He basically tries to bait him into a physical altercation, and then he whips out his cell phone.
The phone call. I wanted to crawl under my sofa.
He calls his lawyer in the middle of the night from a yacht in the Mediterranean to try and pay a finder's fee to have someone smuggle a quote-unquote tour guide that he hooked up with in Croatia onto the yacht. He's treating the multi-million-dollar Akira one like a frat house basement.
It is so incredibly gross. The internet was losing its collective mind over this.
Oh, the forums were on fire.
We were deep in the Reddit threads this morning over coffee, and the fandom is spiraling out of control. Half the snarkers on the forums are entirely convinced that Josef has to be a paid actor planted by the Bravado producers.
Because his villainy is just too perfectly over the top. Like, nobody is actually this villainous in real life, right?
All right. And the other half of the Reddit fandom is incredibly vocal, calling Josef, quote, the walking definition of Magyar.
Which, Snark Squad, listen to us very carefully for a second, because we need to explicitly pause here. We are the Switzerland of reality TV podcasts.
We are completely impartial.
Exactly. We're purely the neutral messengers of internet gossip. Regardless of where anyone sits on the political spectrum, we want to make it crystal clear that we are taking absolutely zero political sides here.
Zero.
We are not endorsing that viewpoint. We are not making any political statements whatsoever. We are strictly 100% just reading the internet fandom's commentary and reporting it to you exactly as we read it on the forums.
100%. We report the snark, we don't write the ballots. But honestly, whether he's a paid actor trying to stir up ratings or just a politically polarizing lightning rod of a human being, the man is a walking nightmare to manage.
An absolute menace.
But bestie, as much as the guests are making me sweat, we need to move off the exterior deck and get into the pantry because the interior crew drama is giving me absolute life. The battle for second stew.
Ah, yes. The great hierarchy war of the interior. Let's set the stage. Aesha, as chief stew, decides that the boat is too chaotic and she needs to officially appoint a second stew to act as her right hand.
Makes sense.
Now, she is choosing between two people. Jen, who loudly reminds everyone she has 4 years of yachting experience, and Kaylee, who is much newer to boats but comes from a high-end hospitality and event background.
And Aesha chooses Kaylee. I cheered, but I also gasped because I knew the fallout was going to be nuclear.
Oh, it was radioactive.
Aesha says she loves Kaylee's scrappy-do energy and her relentlessly positive attitude. Which, to be fair, Kaylee works so incredibly hard. She's always running.
She doesn't stop.
But Jen's reaction, the absolute emotional devastation on her face.
Let's really dig into Jen's psychology right now because it is a fascinating case study. Jen has 4 years of experience. She brags that she was a chief stew on a smaller boat before she was 20 years old.
She brings it up constantly.
On paper, looking purely at her CV, she assumes she is an absolute undeniable shoe-in for the promotion. So when Aesha passes her over for the newer girl, Jen contracts a lethal terminal case of what we call resume entitlement.
Resume entitlement. Oh my gosh, that is the perfect diagnosis. Say more about that.
Resume entitlement is a psychological trap where you believe your past accolades exempt you from present-day effort. It's like a chef relying on a Michelin star they won 10 years ago at a totally different restaurant while currently burning toast.
Wow.
Jen thinks her piece of paper should do the heavy lifting for her. But yachting and high-end hospitality in general is 90% attitude and adaptability. You aren't graded on your past, you're graded on how fast you can turn over a laundry room in a moving vessel while a guest is screaming at you.
Yes. And Jen's attitude is atrocious. So when Kaylee, who is genuinely, sweetly excited about her new promotion, starts talking about researching cool puzzle ideas because the guests requested an escape room on the boat, Jen aggressively rolled her eyes.
She literally rolled them into the back of her skull.
She actually complains to Kaylee that she's done an escape room before, and she, quote, hated it.
It is so deeply toxic. Jen is seething behind the scenes. She is radiating this dark, stormy Dementor energy in that tiny, windowless laundry room.
Dementor energy?
And it's like, babes, if you wanted the leadership role, maybe don't complain about literally every single task you're handed. Leadership requires lifting the team up, not dragging them down into your personal misery.
Precisely. You do not get promoted by being a wet blanket. Aesha is a veteran chief stew. She sees everything. She knows that a bad attitude is a highly contagious virus on a boat.
It spreads so fast.
If one person is miserable in the pantry, within 2 days, everyone is miserable.
Speaking of toxic viruses, let's pivot and talk about the boys. The great bromance repair. I know you had a lot of feelings about Nathan and Joe's fractured friendship.
I was so emotional watching this, it broke my heart. Nathan was so incredibly mad after their crew night out that he literally packed a bag and left the boat to go stay at a rental property on land with his baby and his girlfriend, Gail.
He had to escape.
He needed physical distance so he wouldn't throttle Joe. And I get it. When you live in a 150-foot tube of floating steel with your coworkers, you cannot escape them. You sleep 2 feet away from them.
Let's unpack the actual root of this specific problem, though, because it is painfully absurd. Joe is mad at Nathan because Gail and Nathan's girlfriend didn't give Joe enough attention 2 seasons ago.
It's so dumb.
That's it. That is the entire conflict. It's a bruised male ego from the distant past coming back to haunt the present. Joe desperately wants Nathan to be a single, chaotic wingman party boy with him, but Nathan has a family now. He has a baby. He's in a different life stage.
The next morning, when Nathan comes back to the yacht, he actually sits Joe down, and he apologizes.
Which was shocking.
He apologizes for being reactionary. He sets a very clear, firm boundary, saying, do not bring Gail up again. But then he immediately pivots and praises Joe's hard work on the deck. He says he respects him as a worker and won't let personal issues affect the deck team's safety.
I have to admit, looking at the history of Bravo, this was shockingly mature for reality TV men.
Unprecedented.
Usually on these shows, men let a grudge fester for 6 entire weeks until someone throws a drink at a beach club or punches a wall. Nathan actually used his words. He communicated. It was a rare statistical anomaly of emotional intelligence in the Bravo cinematic universe.
It really, really was. I was so proud of him. But Snark Squad, do not worry. The emotional intelligence instantly vanished the second we got to the boatman's buffet.
Oh, the romance.
The romance on this boat is an absolute disaster class. Let's start with Kaylee and Joe. I am screaming into the void. Kaylee and Joe are making out on the exterior deck.
The red flags are not just flying, they are on fire, Snark Squad. Kaylee literally has the word liability tattooed on her inner lip. She physically pulls her lip down to show it off to the cameras.
Why would you show that off?
And then she looks at Joe, point blank, and tells him that she wants nothing serious.
And you can just see Joe's eyes light up like a slot machine.
Because that specific combination of words, I want nothing serious, is absolute angelic music to fuckboy Joe's ears. He doesn't want to date her. He doesn't want to know her middle name or her hopes and dreams.
He just wants to hook up.
Exactly. He wants a vacation distraction. He wants someone to make out with in the crew mess to pass the time. And Kaylee, with her lip tattoo, just handed him a free VIP pass.
Aesha warned her. Aesha sat her down and gave her the chief stew disclaimer about boat boys. But no, the lip tattoo took the wheel.
It always does.
And then we have to talk about Luke. Oh my gosh. Luke's terrible, archaic, misogynistic mathematics.
Yes, the Luke Brumer categorization of women. Let's break down this horrific 1950s logic.
Do it.
Luke is caught in a love triangle between Chef Joy and Jen, and he sits in his confessional interview and tells the camera that he likes Joy because, quote, he could take her home, implying she is respectable, wife material.
So gross.
But he also likes Jen because she's hot and full of lust.
I cringed into an entirely different dimension. My soul left my body. It is the classic, incredibly toxic Madonna whore complex playing out on a luxury yacht in Croatia.
It really is.
You cannot just put human women into 2 distinct buckets like that. Joy is for marrying, Jen is for playing. It's repulsive.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
He views both of these highly capable women entirely through the lens of what utility they serve him, social respectability versus physical gratification. And the tragic irony is that Jen is totally, blissfully oblivious to how he's categorizing her behind her back.
Oh, Jen. She is so oblivious that she leaves him a flirty Post-it note in the laundry room. And babes, wait. I mean, the contents of the note, I can barely read this without physically shriveling up.
Read it. You have to read it.
It said, if you were a fruit, you'd be a pineapple.
Sweet and crisp. A true marvel. Smiley face emoji. XX Jen.
Make it stop, please. I'm making you make it stop. The secondhand embarrassment was a physical ailment. I felt it deep in my bones. It is so deeply middle school. You are adults working on a multi-million-dollar vessel. And the worst part, Luke immediately takes this deeply private, cringeworthy note and reads it out loud to Joy.
Of course he does. Because Luke loves the attention. He thrives on the ego boost. He loves that two women are vying for his affection in this closed environment.
It feeds his soul.
Closed environments breed this kind of desperate toxicity because your dating pool is limited to 8 people. But honestly, amidst all this toxic, messy, HR-violating boatman's chaos, there is one shining, beautiful beacon of hope.
Cooper and Kat are angels.
Yes, both of us firmly, unequivocally agree on this. Cooper and Kat are the only wholesome, pure thing happening on this entire vessel.
They are actually taking it slow. They aren't drunkenly making out in the hot tub on night 1. They're giggling together on night watch looking at the stars.
It's so cute.
Cooper literally FaceTimed his grandmother onto the screen to introduce Kat to her, and the grandma was wearing Vegas showgirl feathers. Kat was melting. I was melting. It is so incredibly pure.
It is a statistical outlier of healthy pacing in reality TV. Cooper is actually protecting her peace, treating her with respect, and building a genuine foundation. We love to see it. It proves that not every yachty is a complete monster.
Okay, Snark Squad, we need to shift gears. It is time for Segment 1, Yacht Job Performance Reviews.
Welcome to the completely unofficial, highly biased, HR-violating performance reviews for the crew of the Akira 1. We are looking at productivity, attitude, and overall sanity.
Exactly. Let's start with the most coveted award, Employee of the Week. I am officially strongly nominating Kaylee.
Okay, let's hear the pitch.
Think about it. She got the second stew promotion. She has a phenomenal positive attitude. She is actively researching escape rooms for these ungrateful guests. And most importantly, she is successfully ignoring Jen's deeply toxic rain cloud energy in the pantry. She is thriving under pressure.
I hear your plea, bestie, and I respect Kaylee's hustle, but I must aggressively counter. Employee of the Week is, without a doubt, Aesha Scott.
Ooh, okay, that is a very strong contender. Make your case.
Aesha delivered an absolute masterclass in high-stakes babysitting. When faced with a 53-year-old billionaire toddler throwing a tantrum about a jet ski, she maintained perfect vocal tone.
She really did.
She didn't blink, her voice didn't shape, she didn't get rattled, and she delivered the line, because you're being the problem for him, with the cold, calculated precision of a military sniper. Aesha deserves double her tip share just for not physically throwing Josef overboard into the Mediterranean.
Okay, you know what? When you lay it out like that, you're right. She saved the captain's license and kept the boat afloat. Aesha takes the crown. Employee of the Week.
Thank you.
But moving on to the less glamorous needs improvement category.
I will gladly take this one. Needs improvement goes unequivocally, undeniably to Jen.
No arguments here.
She is letting her bruised ego completely annihilate her work ethic. You do not prove to management that you deserve a leadership promotion by complaining about every single task, rolling your eyes at the junior stew who got the job over you, and using company time to write fruit-themed poetry to the deckhand on a neon Post-it note.
The pineapple poem.
Fix the attitude, Jen, or get off the boat.
It's so true. The resume doesn't mean anything if you act like a brat when things don't go your way. Okay, next category. One mistake away from disaster. I am giving this to Nathan.
A solid, observant choice. Tell the squad why.
Because his temper is on a literal hair trigger. You can see the veins popping in his neck. He was ready to physically fight Joe over a passing comment about his girlfriend, and he was gripping the bridge console so hard his knuckles were white, trying not to fight Josef.
He is definitely struggling.
He even looked dead into the camera in his own confessional and said, I'm about to get fired. He knows it. He is self-aware. One more push button, one more disrespectful guest comment, and Nathan is going to explode, throw a punch, and get a one-way plane ticket home.
It's a highly volatile, dangerous combination. You have sleep deprivation, the deep anxiety of new fatherhood, and the stress of dealing with awful, entitled humans. He is definitely teetering on the edge of the cliff.
Definitely.
Finally, to wrap up the reviews, the secret MVP of the week.
Oh, this is unanimous. We don't even need to debate this.
Both of us definitively award the secret MVP to Addis, Josef's iconic girlfriend.
Yes. She looked around that luxury yacht, looked at her red flag, screaming boyfriend, did the mental math on what the next 72 hours would look like, and said, "Get me off this boat immediately."
She did the math and opted out.
She prioritized her mental health over a free ultra-luxury vacation in Croatia. She set a boundary and made them drop a 2-ton anchor to enforce it. Legend behavior.
She is the boundary-setting hero we didn't know we needed. We salute you, Addis. Now, moving right along to Segment 2, Charter Guest Delusion Rankings.
Oh, I love this game. Okay, Snark Squad, we are ranking the guests on this charter from the most reasonable to the absolute maximum absurdity. Let's start at the bottom with the most reasonable.
It absolutely has to be the co-primaries, Johnny and Michelle Damon.
Totally. I mean, think about it. Johnny's only real diva demand on his multi-page preference sheet is that he wants his food to be, quote, hot, hot, hot. Which, as Aesha explained, creates a logistical nightmare because it means Captain Sandy actually has to stand in the galley and run the plates up the stairs the exact second Joy plates them so they don't cool down.
Right. But if we break that down, if you are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to charter a super yacht, wanting your hot food to actually arrive to the table hot is an incredibly fair, basic metric of service.
Exactly.
It's a tall order on a boat with stairs, yes, but that's not delusional. That's just demanding the standard of luxury you paid for.
Exactly. I want my soup hot, too. It's totally fair. Okay, moving up the ladder to mid-tier delusion. This is the rest of the friend group that tagged along. Janetta, Mark, Shayla, Hunter.
They belong in the mid-tier because they are clearly just along for the free luxury ride.
Absolute.
They are spending 90% of their vacation time aggressively staring at their phones or the ocean, desperately trying not to make eye contact with Josef while he screams at the crew.
They are completely hiding. They know Josef is a massive liability, but they don't want to ruin their own free vacation, so they are just pretending the chaos isn't happening.
The ostrich method.
They're sipping their champagne while the boat burns down. It is mildly delusional to think you can ignore that kind of toxic energy and still have a relaxing time, but honestly, we respect the grift of staying for the free Michelin star food.
Which brings us to the absolute zenith. The peak of the mountain. Maximum delusion and absurdity.
Josef, I am still spiraling over the absolute unmitigated audacity of this man.
It's breathtaking.
You pay $12,000 as your share to be on this incredible boat, and you spend your precious time getting blackout drunk before you even board, sitting in the captain's literal chair, challenging the bosun to a 2 a.m. fistfight, and trying to have your lawyer internationally smuggle a random Croatian tour guide onto a secure vessel.
His delusion is deeply rooted in the false equivalence that net worth equals total authority over reality.
That is so well said.
He fundamentally believes that because he claims to have $500 million, the safety rules of maritime law simply do not apply to him. He thinks his bank account makes him invincible on a jet ski. It is a textbook, fascinating case of terminal wealth-induced psychosis.
Wow.
He's insulated from consequences in his real life, so he short-circuits when a crew member tells him no.
He is a monster. Honestly, I need to cleanse my palate from Josef's energy. Let's jump into segment 3, the yacht group chat.
This is my favorite hypothetical scenario. Let's imagine the Akira 1 cast has a secret, heavily encrypted WhatsApp group chat, a chat that Captain Sandy absolutely does not know about.
Okay, first up in the group chat dynamics. Who sends the novels? Like massive, multi-paragraph, scroll-to-read text blocks.
Oh, without a doubt, it's Nathan.
100% Nathan. He is sitting in his bunk, furiously typing out massive paragraphs detailing his exact feelings, defending Gail's honor to the group, and intricately explaining the exact nuances of why he is mad at Joe today.
You have to scroll 3 separate times just to get to the end of his one message.
Yeah.
And he definitely overuses the intense emojis. The face with the steam coming out of the nose, the red anger symbol, the exclamation points.
He loves an exclamation point. Next up, who reads all of Nathan's novels and then leaves everyone on read?
Chef Joy.
It has to be Joy.
She is way too busy provisioning the boat, way too professional, and she simply does not care about the trivial deckhand drama. As she literally told Luke to his face this episode, anything great is not easy to get.
Queen behavior.
She reads the massive drama text, smirks to herself, puts her phone face down on the stainless steel counter, and goes back to perfectly searing scallops. She is unbothered.
She is an absolute icon. Okay, who starts the drama in the chat? Who is the instigator?
This is a layup. It's Jen.
It is so Jen. She is the queen of dropping passive-aggressive emojis. Like, imagine Kaylee sends a sweet message to the group saying, "Hey guys, escape room planning meeting at 4 p.m. in the crew mess."
And Jen just replies with a single, solitary thumbs-up emoji. But you can feel the hatred and venom radiating through the screen. Or she uses the upside-down smiley face.
Oh, the upside-down smiley face is Jen's primary digital weapon. It screams, "I hate you, but HR can't fire me for an emoji." Finally, who immediately leaks the screenshots of this highly secret group chat?
Joe Bradley.
Without a single second of hesitation.
Joe acts like he is everyone's cheeky, lovable bestie. He plays both sides of every conflict. But the absolute second he needs to save his own skin with Aesha, or the second he wants to impress a girl at a bar by showing her behind-the-scenes yacht drama, he is airdropping those screenshots to the highest bidder.
He would sell them all out for a free pint of beer. He is a screenshot sniper. You cannot trust him. Okay, Snark Squad, brace yourselves. It is time for our final segment. Segment 4, Captain's Court.
Order in the court. Court is now in session. We are putting the cast on trial. We will weigh the evidence, analyze the behavior, and deliver a binding, highly snarky verdict.
Our very first defendant, Luke, the proud recipient of the pineapple Post-it note.
I will gladly take the lead on the prosecution here. Luke is guilty. Categorizing the highly capable women you work with into take-home to mom versus hot and full of lust is classic textbook fuckboy behavior.
Absolutely.
It's reductive, it's deeply misogynistic, and frankly, it's a terrible strategy for maintaining crew cohesion in a tiny working environment. He is guilty of bad math, worse vibes, and creating a hostile work environment.
I completely agree with the prosecution. Guilty. Throw the heaviest maritime book at him. Next defendant up to the stand, Jen, the passed-over stew with the 4 years of experience.
How are you ruling on this one, Your Honor?
This is complex, but I'm ruling her guilty, but entertaining. Look, her terrible eye-rolling attitude is an absolute nightmare for Aesha to manage. It's toxic for the interior flow.
It really is.
But as a reality TV watcher sitting on my couch, it is absolute gold. The dramatic pouting, the terrible fruit-based flirtation tactics, the seething jealousy.
Good TV.
She is giving us plot, babe. She is earning her paycheck. So
No.
guilty of being a bad coworker, but keep her on my screen because I am entertained.
The jury accepts this highly nuanced verdict. Next up, Kaylee. The newly promoted second stew with the lip tattoo.
Oh, I am acting as her defense attorney. Not guilty.
I concur with the defense,
Yeah.
not guilty. Yes, she literally has the word liability tattooed on her inner lip, which mathematically suggests a history of making terrible life choices off the boat.
True.
But on the boat, she is actually the most responsible person in the interior crew. She puts her head down, she works incredibly hard, she wants to do a good job for the guests, and she refuses to engage in Jen's petty subterranean warfare.
She is just doing her job. She is cleared of all charges. She's a star. Okay, our final defendant in the courtroom, Captain Sandy.
I have historically had many, many deep critiques of Captain Sandy's management style, specifically her tendency to micromanage the interior.
Right.
But today, in this specific episode, not guilty.
Not guilty. I completely agree. For once, Sandy handled an awful, volatile situation perfectly. She backed up Aesha when she checked Josef. She backed up Nathan on the jet ski safety rules.
She was a true leader.
She confronted Josef directly at the dinner table to protect Chef Joy from his bullying. And most importantly, she dropped that massive anchor so a woman could escape a toxic situation. Sandy gets a gold star this episode.
It was textbook, flawless crisis management from the captain. Court is officially adjourned.
Wow, we made it through the storm. But Snark Squad, as we wrap up this massive breakdown, I cannot stop spiraling about one final provocative thought. I need you to seriously think about this tonight when you're trying to fall asleep.
Lady existential dread on us, babes.
Is reality TV villainy, like what we just witnessed with Josef, actually real? Or do these ultra-rich people come onto these Bravo shows knowing the cameras are rolling and consciously perform what they think meanness and wealth looks like just to guarantee they get airtime?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, is Josef actually this much of an unhinged monster in his daily corporate life? Or is he just a really, really bad actor trying to audition to be the next iconic reality TV supervillain? Does the camera capture the monster, or does it create it?
It is the ultimate reality TV paradox, bestie. Are we watching genuine pathological entitlement, or are we watching a desperate, calculated audition for infamy? It's a terrifying question about human nature. And Snark Squad, We need your thoughts on this.
Yes. Get in our comments right now. We need answers to 4 crucial burning questions. Number 1, is red sangria a summer drink or a midlife crisis cry for help? Defend your answer in the comments.
Number 2, are you going to succumb to the algorithm and buy the squeeze and freeze slush cup? Because I need a support group of fellow slushy addicts. Number 3, out of this chaotic crew, which member are you actively rooting for this season?
And number 4, the most important question. Who needs to be fired from the Akira One immediately? Drop your HR hit lists in the comments.
We want to thank every single one of you fabulous babes for listening today. You are the absolute best, and you are the reason we get to spiral over boat drama and pop culture chaos every single week.
We love you so much. Please remember to subscribe on whatever platform you're using, leave us a shiny 5-star review, and share this episode with a fellow reality TV-loving bestie who needs a laugh today.
Because Snark is always, always better when it's shared with friends.
Stay messy.
Stay fabulous.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.